The Mexican superstar Canelo strikes again. Hey guys, I'm Tejas, and that's the time.
Hello, guys.
And we're here after the Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo Alvarez boxing match. And Canelo has made his mark.
Yes, Canelo was expected to win. He was the favorite coming into the match. He had lot of advantages. His head movement is good. His accuracy is amazing, and then his combinations. And the only disadvantage I think would be, he takes his time to get into the rhythm.
That's right. And conversely, Billy Joe Saunders is known for being a quick starter, and all the analysts coming into the fight said that Billy would have to take those initial rounds and put on, his good combinations to try and unsettle Canelo. But that's not how we saw it. Apart from that first round that went to Saunders, the initial section went to Canelo.
Yes, first round in the official judges score. Two of the judges gave it for Canelo.
Hmm.
But I think it was Billy Joe's round.
Right.
Billy Joe landed some good jabs, but I think what took the decision towards Canelo was the attractive body shots. And
Hmm.
we saw that from Canelo, like in each round, no matter what happened, he landed those really good body shots. And then the follow-up rounds, second round, third round, fourth round was towards Canelo.
That's
And
right.
then fifth and sixth round was to Billy Joe. He landed good double jabs, hooks, so that those two rounds to goes to
Yeah.
him.
So, I mean, the rounds that went to Canelo were mostly for the good body shots and the power shots up top. Um, then in the fifth and sixth round, Billy Joe Saunders started getting into his rhythm, putting his hands down, landing the combinations, looking
And
smooth,
that
really.
actually was towards his advantage. Everyone
Mm.
was telling that Billy Joe is better with his hands
Right.
down.
Mm. Yeah,
And
that's
then
right.
in the seventh
Seventh,
round,
seventh was inconclusive for me, but eighth was definite.
yeah, eighth was definitely Canelo's round. He once he landed one proper right uppercut, he
Hmm.
went in with the bizarre amount of uppercuts. I think he landed six to seven uppercuts, left, right. And after he started landing, he was like, cheer up, crowd, cheer up, crowd. So
Yeah,
he
the
predicted he was gonna knock
yeah,
Billy
knock
Joe
Yellow
in
out,
the
Billy
eighth
Joe in
round.
the eighth
Yeah.
round. That's right. And I think Billy Joe had really good head movement initially, but then Canelo started reading him, and he really put the pressure on in the eighth round, landed those uppercuts, and to our surprise, we didn't realize at the time, Billy Joe didn't come out for the ninth round. He had an injury to his eye, which we didn't know much about, but yeah, there was a swelling on his eye.
It seems to be an orbital fracture.
Yes.
That's what the commentators were suspecting it to be.
Yeah, that's what the reports of even in the post-fight interview said. So it was a close match going into the eighth round, but yeah, Canelo again just doing what he's so good at.
Yeah. And it's Billy Joe's first defeat
First defeat,
in,
hard
yeah.
one, a hard one for him because since 2019 and 18, he's wanted Canelo. Even back when during the KSI versus Logan 2
Yeah.
fight, he was on the undercard, and even then he had his sights set on Canelo. And after getting the shot, finally he falls short. So that must be hard for him. We do hope for his recovery, and yeah, and hope he still manages to come back strong after his first defeat. For Canelo, I mean, it couldn't be any better.
Yeah. Now he's only one title shot away from being the undisputed champion,
That's right. He just needs the IBF world title, which is with
world title.
The current champion Caleb Plant. So we can expect that match next for the undisputed super middleweight crown.
But a
Brilliant
huge
performance
win for
by,
Canelo. Yeah.
yeah.
Brilliant performance by Canelo.
Some bizarre occurrences in the undercard, though. I would like to point
Yes.
out one bout between Frank Sanchez
Frank was,
and
yeah.
Nagy. Yeah. And what happens is Frank lands this hook, I forget which, I think right hook, and it grazes Nagy's shoulder and just glances off his neck. But Nagy goes to the ground. I'm not sure if it was authentic. I think he was just trying to claim a foul. The doctors came in and ruled it a foul. That ended
But
quite strange.
I don't. I think that was pretty much a fake call. That shot didn't even land properly behind his neck, behind his head.
Yeah,
So, and there was zero power. I mean, most of the power went onto the shoulder first and then behind his head. And I don't know. And then he kept on saying to the ref, "Hey, you don't touch me there. You don't touch me there." I don't understand why you wouldn't let an official touch there. And he was just screaming at the referee like, "You don't listen to me." So I don't think so. I mean, he just wanted that win somehow, and that was not a fair win.
yeah,
I
very,
wouldn't give
very,
him the
very
fair.
strange ending, and it was a technical decision win for the heavyweight Frank Sanchez. But worse than that, that was still something to complain about. But worse than that was what happened in the co-main event between Katsunari Tamayaka and Elwin Soto for the junior flyweight championship. And Soto, the youngster, he really showed how good of a fighter he was. He had the accurate and more powerful punches, hurting Tamayaka in the first and the sixth rounds, I believe. But to be fair, the veteran Tamayaka was hanging in there, firing shots right back, and he was there in the
I mean,
full. Yeah,
yeah, that's my point. Tamayaka was never really out,
and yeah, the
I
fight
mean,
got
the young chap,
called off. It
yeah,
was
the young
bizarre.
chap landed really nice shots. So good shouts to him. But then Tamayaka was never really out. Even after the that bad decision by referee. Let me tell you, a pathetic decision by the referee. He
Hmm.
comes in the middle of the ring, goes on to show his skills, and the whole crowd was cheering for the Japanese warrior. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
really,
you'd have to call him that. Yeah.
and this is not
Uh,
the first time that this ref has made some absurd decisions.
it's very unfortunate for the fighter as well because Tamayaka now, I think, age 37. This could have been his last big fight, and he would have liked to go on. He wasn't hurt at the time of the stoppage.
He wasn't hurt at all. After
Mhm.
they came out of the clinch, he was going back in, but the ref came in between, put his hand up, and Tamayak was literally looking at his corner. Wait, so did somebody throw a towel? And then they're like,
Yeah,
wait, no, nobody did nothing. I mean,
yeah.
you could see his expression. He was literally like so angry. I don't know what to say, but a really, really bad decision by the referee.
And even the commentators remarked it as perhaps one the really bad stoppage they've seen
He
in recent
was.
times. But that's unfortunate. But yeah, I think these bizarre events were kind of put aside by how dramatic and eye-catching the main event was, the fight between Billy Joe Saunders and Canelo Alvarez. And thousands of
The
fans,
crowd loved it.
oh yeah, the crowd loved
The
it.
crowd
It-
loved the main event. That's the big thing. You gotta make sure that the crowd loves the main event. And they put out a great performance.
They did put on a great performance. Canelo even feeding off of the crowd, and even after the fight, he kind of had this emotional moment as you could see him soaking in all that energy from the crowd, which really reminds us of what we've been missing out from the crowds in these spectacular matches. In fact,
These
yeah,
athletes love to perform in front of big crowds.
that's right.
And sometimes that's what can, take you towards the victory.
Hmm.
We have seen that many times that athletes have fallen down and they rise a bit just because the crowd is yelling and, cheering them up. So crowds really, matter a lot in terms of big, big matches like these.
Indeed, 70,000 fans showed up.
70,000.
Lot of Mexican fans, obviously, in support for Canelo. And yeah, this attendance of 70,000 is the highest for an indoor boxing match in the United States. So that's huge accomplishment, no doubt. But again, it's not like we've left COVID in the back seat yet. COVID's still with us. And I looked up the county where the stadium was located in Texas, still has 200 odd cases. And it seems like just as we seem to be leaving COVID behind, you'd like to be leaving COVID behind, we put on these massive high capacity events. Do you think this could backfire?
It definitely could. We are not out of the situation right now. Like there are still active cases, and I mean these numbers are really good for business if we see from that aspect. But then looking it from a human society way, I don't think we shouldn't have these mass crowds at all. 70,000 people is a big number.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I do feel the crowd should be avoided for time being.
Or at least
And coming
limited
forward,
capacity, like we have mentioned in our
limited
previous
capacity.
videos.
But we saw the same thing from UFC, so I don't think they're gonna stop it anytime
That's right.
soon. I think now UFC is gonna come back with any much more bigger number of people. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I
that's it.
hope they consider like having at least limited capacity events if they are going to consider crowds showing up. But overall, a memorable match. I'm not going to forget this anytime soon.
Really nice match. I mean, it was
Um,
a big event for boxing itself. So many people coming up.
yes, that's right.
Real good event for boxing, and
Big event for boxing. Um, Canelo showing why he's the pound for pound number one fighter, and we hope that Saunders recovers sometime soon. Yeah, but brilliant event
recovers
overall.
soon. Yes.
Yeah, that's all we have to say for this event, and thank you for joining us. To see you next time.
See you guys.